A lot of techies have come out to say Flutterflow it's not good. You can't really build production ready applications with Flutterflow. You can only build very crude application, application that requires you to create, read, update, and delete records. That's all you can build. And so a lot of founders have been scared. If you're one of those founders who's scared to use Flutterflow to build the application, I'm here to let you know, and I'm here to probably tell you and give you my candid review of Flutterflow if Flutterflow is good for your application or it's not good for your application. I've been building with Flutterflow for the past 3 years. I've built a lot of application with Flutterflow, and I really think that I'll be able to give you my candid review on why I think Flutterflow is good, if it's good, or why I think Flutterflow is terrible, if it's terrible. My name is Paul. I teach and I help founders build scalable MVP with no code. If you want to reach out to me, you can click on the link below and you can always talk to me. I definitely will help you solve any issue you might have if you're building with any of this no code tool. Right. So let's go to the meat of this discourse. First thing first, what is Flutterflow? Flutterflow is a visual builder or a tool that allows you to build mobile and web applications without writing code. Without writing code or with writing little code. Because Flutterflow in itself, it's not just a local tool. It's a tool that you can extend by adding tons of code to it. That's the kind of flexibility that Flutterflow gives you. So most times, Flutterflow really does not handle so much of the backend stuff for you. Right, you would have to choose a backend infrastructure of your choice. Firebase is the backend infrastructure that comes with Flutterflow, which you can use or you don't have to. So you can also integrate with Superbase, which is a very cool tool. I really think personally that Superbase is one of the best. It's one of the best backend infrastructure that you can use right now. Just today, I was using Superbase to build a real estate application with Fireflow and also using it to build a web application with a different tool, with Lovable AI. Yeah, with Lovable AI. And it's really, really good. It's very affordable and it's very cheap. Yeah, it's very affordable and it's very easy to master. And also, aside Superbase and Firebase, you can use other tools like No Code Backend. You can use lots of other tools to create your own custom art yourself, and everything is just going to be fine. So mostly, what Flutterflow gives you is what you give to it. If you do not have experience writing, if you do not have experience building app, or you do not have experience writing good application or connecting backend, the tendency of your app doing well is going to be very, very, very low. And I've seen so many persons complain about security that, oh, I'm not very sure that Flutterflow is secure. But the thing is that Flutterflow is very secure. The security of your application that you build with Flutterflow really depends on how secure you want it to be. First, it really depends on how good you can write security rules. Yeah, of course. And also, it depends on how good your backend infrastructure is. For Firebase, you are told to write security rules. For Superbase, you are told to write row level security. And those are things that you have to learn how to do. And those are things you have to master, right? So that you can have a very, very good application so that users can access what they cannot access in Flutterflow, right? In terms of the code, right, which a lot of founders have complained about, Flutterflow has really made a lot of improvement. Don't worry, I'm not paid to really say this. I am a user of Flutterflow. I really think that I can put this out there. Flutterflow has making a lot of improvement. Now you can check out the code. It's very clean, and now you can even export the code to Visual Studio, and it works very well. You can export the code to Xcode, and it works very well. So there's a whole lot of improvement that's going on in Flutterflow. So that's something I like about Flutterflow. I like the team. Every other month there's always one new improvement coming every other month. There's always one part of Flutterflow that is improved. I think recently it was Git branching. It was branching, ability to um, version control your application. It was improved, and it works really really fine now. So that's something that you have to really hold on to, that you have to think about. I can't say so much of customer support, because personally customer support has been good for me. I've read other person's review online and they've not really had very good customer support. So I think that's a 50-50 stuff for me. Maybe your experience might be different, but my experience has been really good with their customer support. Okay, I think another thing that people always ask is it possible for you to build production ready application with Flutterflow? And also, is it possible to scale with Flutterflow? So this is it. Saying that Flutterflow in itself is majorly a front-end infrastructure. The scalability of your application depends largely on your DB, depends largely on the backend infrastructure you decide to use. If Superbase is scalable, it really means that your app is going to be scalable. If Firebase is scalable, it really means that your app is going to be scalable. So we've seen apps that have millions of users, hundreds of thousands of users do very well in Flutterflow. Right, so it really depends on how you're building your app for scale. So some persons don't really work on their DB very well, don't really think of, oh, how's this app going to look like if if this app is used by 1,000 persons, if it's used by 100,000 persons, how it's going to look like. So as the numbers begin to grow, the app begins to break. Why? Because the person who created the DB, who fixed the database, or who created the backend infrastructure, did not really create it to take so many persons. So you can see, right? So that's the reason why you have to use the right infrastructure when you are getting started. You would have to take a lot of time and plan, because what I've seen so far is a whole lot of persons getting started with their Flutterflow app and just winging it. Just straight up, just winging it, no planning, no writing any schema, and not even knowing where the app is going to be. They just make changes as they go. So they don't really prepare the app for more features, right? They just keep making changes, and at the end of the day, things begin to break. Things begin to break. It's like putting a 10-story building house on a one-story building floor plan. It's definitely going to fail. So you see that you control majority of the things that happens when you build your app on Flutterflow. So it's very good for your app to be built well so that it can carry more users. And also, this is another liberty that you have. Since the backend infrastructure is yours and yours for the keep, if you grow to a certain extent as a founder and you think you're not very comfortable anymore with Flutterflow, you can always code it traditionally, or you can move to a different platform with your database, because you have total control of your database. And so it's something that you can, move your database somewhere else, and you can tie your APIs, or you can, build with that database a new application entirely. So if you're not comfortable, if you've gotten to a particular extent and you think, oh no, I don't want to use Flutterflow anymore, you can always move to a different infrastructure. But this is my personal advice. If you want to start, right, you want to start building, you think, oh, I'm a solopreneur, I'm a founder, I'm a founders lab, and I really want to start, and I think, okay, I'm looking for something to build, and I'm looking for something to start with. I think Flutterflow is a good way to start, especially if it's a mobile app. Especially if you're building a mobile app, it's a good way to start. It's a good way to build a minimum viable product. It's a good way to scale. And if you're tired, you can always move to a different platform entirely. Two things I want to answer. So two more things I want to add to this is Flatflow good for web application, or is it very, very terrible? Can I build websites with Flatflow? Is it very terrible? This is my candid advice. I would definitely advise you to build mobile app mainly with Flatflow, and you can also build your own probably admin section. You can build a dashboard application with Flatflow. But if you're going to be building something that requires you to do a lot of SEO, I would really say, don't worry, you don't want to do that with Flutterflow, right? So you can build dashboard applications with Flutterflow where you are handling the front end somewhere else. Maybe you're handling the front end on Framer, like you're doing the website thing on Framer, on Webflow, and that's where you have your blog and everything in there, and it's really optimized, right? It's very good. And then when users log in or sign up, they come all the way to Flutterflow, and that's where the dashboard application is hosted. So if that's the way you want to do it, fine. But if you're thinking, I'm going to build both my landing page, I'm going to build a website, I'm going to build my blog, everything on Flutterflow, it's not going to be so good for you, right? That's something that you don't want to do. So lastly, one thing I want to address also is how expensive is using Flutterflow. If you live in Nigeria like me, you would say Flutterflow will only cost you about 20 USD a month. And if you live in Europe, it will cost you $70 a month. So $70 a month If you compare it to all the cash that you have to pay if you're paying a traditional developer, I really think Flutterflow is worth it. So the other cost that you have to think about, you have to think about Firebase cost, right? If you're using Firebase, or you have to think of Superbase cost if you're using Superbase, or you have to think of the cost of using any database infrastructure of your choice. And also, if you're using AI, you have to think of that AI cost. If you're using email marketing, you have to think of those email marketing costs. But for Flutterflow in itself, I think it's a very good buy. I think it's a very good bargain if you put all the other platforms that are out there. So my verdict will be that Flutterflow. So I have a lot of what's it called, for pro for Flutterflow, and not because I'm using it, because it's majorly because I think sincerely it's a very good product. And if you're a founder, you're a entrepreneur, and you're looking forward to getting started, you should just play around with Flutterflow, build something very simple, and see how it turns out for you. Right now that you've watched the video to the end, I have two things to give you. Number one, I am running the Build Launch with Flutterflow Challenge. It's a 30-day challenge for founders and solopreneurs alike who would like to build mobile apps with Flutterflow. So I have curated all the things that you have to do for 30 days, and probably from the first day to the 30th day, you should have a live application on the Play Store. You would have free access to the courses, free access to me, free access to weekly meetings, Q&As, in order for you to be able to build the application from start to finish. And number two, if you are coming from this video, I'm going to be offering you a discount on my service, MVP development service. I'm going to be offering you a 20% discount. So if you click on the link below, if you mention it on the calendar tool that I use, just say, oh, just leave it as a note there. I came from this video and you promised to give me 20% discount on your service. I definitely will give you that 20% discount because you're coming from this video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you like my candid review. I'll see you in a different video entirely. Do remember to subscribe if this is your first time here on this channel, and probably just leave a comment and just let me know what you think about the video, and if there's anything you would like me to answer. If there's any objection you would like me to answer, you put it in the comment section and I'll definitely do well to help you do that. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in a different video entirely.